Using energy infrastructure data in your land research. This is a webinar focused on the critical land energy infrastructure data that we've managed to include onto Acre Value, and we're very excited to share that. Taking us through that information will be our presenter for today, Jackson Eldridge. Jackson is an account executive here with Acre Value, and he will be taking us through the steps of, what is the data, how do you use it, so on and so forth. So without further ado, here's Jackson.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jackson Eldridge. Hope you're doing well. And as you've seen from our emails, our announcements, we're really excited to have this critical energy infrastructure data on the platform and available to our users to better evaluate parcels, landowners, land investment opportunities, and then also comparable sales and land values. So in today's outline, we're going to be covering exactly what is the critical energy infrastructure data that is now included on the website. What does the path forward look like? What's coming soon, the additional features, and how we're going to be applying this data going forward? Number three, who can participate, and then how to get started. So to kick it off, here is a quick summary of the 6 data layers that have been added to the website. I'll go through them individually. We have wind turbines, power plants, substations, solar farms, oil and gas wells, and then biofuel, renewable plants like ethanol, biodiesel, and soybean plants. And those are all the icons. Now that you're in the map view and viewing these data points now, these are the icons that you're going to be seeing on the website. So to get started, let's start off with wind turbines. Whenever you see a wind turbine, it's going to be that light blue icon. And whenever you click on it, these metrics are now available to view. You can see the manufacturer and the model. You can see the start year for that project, the total height of that wind turbine, and then also the capacity in kilowatts. So this quick video is going to show us what it looks like to view this data. There you can see the name of the project. The start year is 2018. The manufacturer was Vestas. You have the model number, the diameter of the rotors. You can also see the capacity there. So pretty common, you're going to be seeing these icons in big groups. If you've ever been driving out west, there's huge swaths of land that are just covered in wind turbines. So a lot of data there for you to view. Next is going to be power plants. So whenever you view a power plant icon in Acre Value, it's going to be that orange icon. It's going to include the name, the operator, the status, whether it's in service or out of service, the description, like what sources is this power plant generating energy from, and then also the operating capacity in megawatts. So let's take a look at a number of power plants in this video. There you can see the name, the status, the operating capacity is 1 megawatt. You can see that the primary fuel source is solar power. It says sun there. Whereas this one right here is landfill gas. That's the type it is. And then out here to the west of the city, this one is also going to be a solar electric power generation plant. So that's a quick look at the power plant data. Next data layer we're going to be covering is substations, very related to power plants. These data points are going to include the name, the type, the voltage that it can carry, the number of lines, then also the status, whether it's in service or out of service. So let's take a look at some substations. When you hover over it, you can see the name like Zion Wind, and obviously it's coming from wind plant. One line, 66 megavolts. There's a tap. You can see the difference between a tap and a substation. That has 3 lines. And there you can see the same thing for that one right there. Next is going to be solar farms. So whenever you click on a solar farm project, you're going to be able to see the project name, the owner of the project, the operating company for the project, the technology type, the start year, and then also the capacity in megawatts. So that one is project name is Pearl Solar. You can see the technology type, the start year was 2017 on that particular project. And you can also see the capacity on that one is 222 megawatts. Next layer, this can be really relevant for, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, a lot of oil and gas in the Southeast as well. So for oil and gas wells, whenever you hover over them, you can see the name, the operator company, the type, the status code, and then also the spud date or the drill date. So, and then oftentimes these oil wells, they're really, there's a lot of them in the same area. So if you see an icon like this video right here, there's 17 oil wells in this area. Then as you zoom in, they start showing individually on the map. So there you can see the name, the type, the status, AC for active. The drill date for that one was 2012. There you can see the type is oil versus gas. That one's from 2011. That was the drill date. That's the information available with oil and gas wells. And then our final layer that we're going to be covering is going to be these renewable plants, these biofuel plants that are either, soybean or biofuel or biodiesel sometimes. And so whenever you select one of these icons, you're able to see the site name, the company name, the fuel sources, and then also the capacity, and the metric that they use is millions of gallons. So there you can see this one is owned, the site name is Mina, owned by Glacial Lakes Energy LLC. And there you can see the capacity per year for this ethanol plant. So that's a quick look at the data we have on acre value, but how can this be applied in your everyday business? So a lot of people are going to be using this for their property search, finding that next potential land purchase and keeping your options open for, additional income streams, whether it's going to be renewables, oil and gas. You can see what is around you, different power lines that are near to you, and how you can take that property and improve it in the future. A lot of people are going to be using this data for investment, identifying rural properties that fit your investment strategy from an energy perspective to see those same layers. And then finally, it's going to have a big application for real estate professionals and appraisers. So being able to correctly assess the value of land, acre value. Up till now, we've always been displaying the property boundaries, the acreage. We have land types, crop rotations, soil maps to help you understand land primarily from an agricultural perspective. But now you can also see the energy components that are on the land, giving you a better idea of what that land could list for, or what it could appraise for. And looking ahead, this is just the beginning of how we're going to be utilizing this information on the website. So what we're looking to do in the future is taking this data, which is currently viewable in the map to see the data, but we're also going to be including it into your reports. So you're going to be able to print and save this critical energy infrastructure data as another tab when you go to get a full report. So typically you're able to see like soil survey, crop rotation, flood zone, and then the critical energy infrastructure tab is going to be some more data for you to put into your records. And then the next thing we're looking to do is the ability to filter parcels and search land sales by this information. So the ability to drop into a county and say, okay, I've got this ethanol plant. I want to search for every parcel 40 acres and above that is at least 95% tillable, that is within a 2-mile radius of this ethanol plant. And then just like that, you could have every land sale in the past 2 years or every parcel owner that is in that 2-mile radius pulled up on acre value. So the ability to search by proximity, then also you can search and say, hey, I want to see every land sale that has 3 oil wells on it in the past 2 years. You can see for the existence of that infrastructure. I only want to look at parcels that have wind turbines on them currently in this county. You can do that filtered search as well. So that's going to be implemented here in the near future. So let's talk about how to access this data. When you log onto the website with a free account, you're able to hover over the icon and see, okay, this is a wind turbine, this is an ethanol plant, but that additional information is going to be only for Acre Value Plus and premium subscribers. Those are the ones that can access this critical energy infrastructure data. But let's talk about how we can get started. And we want to give everybody the chance to try this, to try these features, to see the information. So we're offering 1 month free of Acre Value Plus, which is typically $29 per month per state. But using this checkout code, if you're a new user, you can get on the website, try completely free for 1 month to see and try out this new data. So to do that, go to acrevalue.com/checkout. Then you can enter in that 8-digit code right there, or you can pull up your phone, scan this QR code. It's going to take you directly to the checkout site, select the state that you want for free, and then get started. One thing to note is that only covers 1 state. So if you're like, man, I really want to see critical energy infrastructure in Kansas and Nebraska, the free month is only going to be covering 1 of the states. So I don't want you guys to spend money unnecessarily. Just try it in Kansas for 1 month. And then next month, when you decide to move forward, you can pick up Nebraska as well. And then also, that's, Acre Value Plus is primarily around searching parcels and landowners. But if you want to talk about comparable sales and land values, that's really going to be Acre Value Premium. So having this energy infrastructure data on the land sales is going to give you more context. But if you need to understand land values and looking for, hard data points on when land was sold at certain times with certain parties, for, evaluating an opportunity or determining land values, that would be Acre Value Premium. So please leave us a message or an email. We can definitely help you find the right fit for the states that you need. So I'm going to leave this up there for a little bit, but the next slide, feel free to write this down or take a screenshot or pull out your phone and get that QR code. I'll leave that up for a little bit longer. I'm also going to put, and this is going to go to our Q&A. So there is a chat feature when you're on Zoom. Feel free to drop in a chat. Jeff is going to be checking for those with any questions that you might have about the presentation.
So I'll actually get the group started with maybe a question that some folks might have. So Jackson, you had in the previous slide, you had mentioned, Acre Value Plus is fantastic for searching for landowners, researching parcels, that sort of thing. There's also solutions around finding land values through looking at land sale records. And I know that Acre Value also has active listings on the site. Where are all of these energy infrastructure data going to be visible, and how are they going to interact with all of the different levels of other data that are on Acre Value?
Yeah, great question. So they're going to be available across all those different layers, whether you're looking at parcels, listings from our brokerage partners, or with comparable sales. But you do have the ability, like I mentioned here in the near future, to include them in reports, to include them in filters. But you can also hide them. We also have an option where if you're on the map view, you've probably seen this, you can click a tick box that says hide utilities as well. So you have the ability to look at them or not look at them depending on really what you're searching around.
We did have another question here from Glenn. Glenn, thank you for your question as well. You were asking about where and when can we see the recording. So I just want to bring this back up to the top here. I am currently recording the webinar, and the content, once the webinar is over and we've had a chance to make any edits and whatnot, the content will be available on YouTube. So it'll be posted there, and we'll be sending out an email link to our general audience so that you can go ahead and review the content as well. So just keep an eye out for that. That should be coming here down the line soon. Yeah, and I would say in the meantime, you definitely have some actions to do in terms of exploring the Acre Value system and the energy infrastructure data that's there. Hey, we do have one additional question from Carmen as well. And Carmen had mentioned, we had subscribed a while back and we had sales information, and we weren't highlighting improvements on said sale information as well. Has that changed? I can actually take that one as a start. It's slightly different from the conversation of this energy infrastructure data, but happy to go there. So that's something that's currently living in the sales database, as well as something that we're going to be building features around. So Carmen, to your question, the short answer is yes, there are currently features in there where you can see sales data with improvements, as well as we'll be building out those features further. Specifically, it revolves around this concept of verified land sales, where in the process of verifying a land sale as a real estate professional or an appraiser, you can drop in pins and icons and things like that for saying, here's an improvement on the site, right? Whether that be maybe some sort of land improvement like tile drainage or something like that. You could also drop in something like a barn, shed, etc. Those data and information are going to be available for everyone to consume. It's going to speed up the ability to not have to deduplicate that sort of research and information. So that's currently live, as well as, coming down the line, like Jackson mentioned earlier in the webinar, we're going to be including this critical energy infrastructure data into the sale records themselves as well. Meaning, again, you'll be able to filter for sales that have like a wind turbine or an oil well. You'll also be able to filter for sale records that potentially, are within a certain distance from things like a substation or a power plant or something like that. So yeah, that's a great question. We do have features in the site currently that help with that. And then as well, moving forward, we will be including more information about improvements and structures within the sales records themselves and the properties themselves. So great question there. Anyone else have any other questions? Please feel free to throw it to the chat at this time. Happy to answer it in writing as well as to the entire audience here. And then also, yeah, Jackson, if you could put your contact info up there again as well, that'll give everyone the opportunity to reach back out to you or to the rest of the Acre Value team if you do have any questions moving forward.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate everybody's time. We're going to stay here on the call for maybe about another 2 to 3 minutes, just wrapping up. But if you have nothing else to ask, we really appreciate your time this morning. I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Ooh, and right as we said that too, I think we got one more question from Parker. No worries.
Great.
So the question is, will land leases for planned projects be listed? And I can probably take that question as well. So Parker, I think what you're referring to is, yeah, leases themselves, contract between, a potential developer as well as a landowner. If we can get that information in, we'll definitely try to explore it. As of right now, it's not on the roadmap for now. I can only assume that land leases themselves are fairly private information. So, if we can find a way to get that information, we'll definitely display it. As of right now, it's not part of this energy infrastructure data. So thank you for that question. And then Brad had another question as well. So similar type of processing plant location, similar to the use of biofuels, would be for industrial hemp processing plants such as fiber, oil, etc. Yeah, Brad, definitely well noted. We don't necessarily have industrial hemp processing plants at the moment, but definitely if we can find them, yeah, you are right. It definitely fits in with the trend of the biofuels plants as well, and could be a valuable addition, especially given the way that that market has grown in the past few years.